We'll go with it. Perfect. Okay. Three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Hello, Rewired Army. Today we have a special guest, Rebecca Pilger, and I'm really excited to have you on because she is a spiritually grounded guide. And before this podcast, she was guiding me in all those things into my podcast and spirituality and life. So I'm pretty sure we are getting so much knowledge into this. So, Rebecca, tell hi to everyone and please tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, thank you so much for having me here. And well, I was almost blushing because you said so many kind words about me. Well, I'm Rebecca Pilger. I'm a spiritual motivation coach. And well, I'm not really a coach, I'm more a speaker. So, see, there's my old identity popping up. So, I'm a speaker and I'm having a spiritual podcast called Soul Desire. It's you just mentioned it's about spirituality and it's everywhere when you want to listen to it. Um, yes, and I'm totally into rewiring your brain because I feel like this is what's holding us up or holding us from being who we're supposed to be, being who we meant to be. Before we came to this earth, we picked a life we wanted to live, and this is holding us away from this. Is this blocking us? And it's it's just a remembering kind of thing, I think, because deep down our souls remember. They know. It's just we humans, we have to get aware of this and just realize that there's more to it.
Right, that's wonderful to know about you. It's really inspirational to have you on my podcast because Rewired podcast is all about that, right? So yeah, let's get into the mission. Let's get into the questions right away. I have a question which
Mhm.
is into you mentioned that the limiting beliefs people are born with, right?
Yeah.
And they carry for years. So what are some limiting beliefs people have been carrying it and now you are free from it?
Well, this is a huge umbrella term because limiting beliefs we all have. So you said something which is really actually nice because you said we come to earth with those. So it's true, some of those are from past lives. If you truly believe in past lives, I do. It's not everybody does. So I believe we carry some beliefs, some experiences, some life lessons from previous lives within this life.
Right.
So we are not starting this life with a blank slate, but we start with a kind of already, I like to imagine it like a bag. We have a
Hmm.
baggage. We come to this earth already. So, but if you don't believe in past lives, which is totally fine, it's up to you. You can, there's a fact that between your birth and your seventh year of life, you develop limiting beliefs. And this is basically because your frontal lobe, which is, I like to frame it like this so it's easy to understand for everyone. Your subconscious is like a sponge, it just takes everything. So it hears
Hmm.
something and it just thinks this is real, this must be real because I heard it from a caregiver or I heard it somewhere. So it's just putting it into memory, while your frontal lobe, your consciousness,
Hmm.
is more like a bodyguard. It's deciding what's getting in and what's getting out. So when you're grown up, you hear somebody tell you a lie. For example, I don't know, I saw a flying elephant. You can right away tell me that I'm lying because your frontal lobe is telling you this can't be, and your logical mind, which is your consciousness, tells you
Right.
this is a lie. So you're never, this flying elephant will never reach into your subconscious. While as a
Hmm.
child, when you're, let's say, 5 years old, and I tell you I saw a flying pink elephant, you would be like, wow, really? And your
Oh.
consciousness is not developed, so it can't tell you that it's a lie. but your subconscious thinks, wow, there are flying pink elephants. And now, every time you go out, you look in the sky to see a flying pink elephant because I told you
Mm,
so. And this
right.
is how limiting beliefs happen
Hmm.
because you, as a child, you're innocent, you don't know anything. And the
Right.
spiritual version to this is within your first couple of lifetimes, your soul is split. Just half of your soul got crunched into your body because for a soul, it's really hard. Imagine you're limitless, you're boundless, and all of a sudden you get to crunch into a small, tiny human body. So
Right.
that's why spirituality says you have just half the soul. And in your teenager years, you receive the second part of your soul. So now your soul is actually there to tell you what's truth or not. But any way you want to believe this, if you believe in the psychology part of it, which is
Hmm.
proven, or the spiritual part, it comes to the same results.
I see.
Within your small childhood years, you're available for a lot of limiting beliefs. And that's
Hmm.
totally normal. We all are. And during this time, all our limiting beliefs, all or most of our traumas get developed into this time. Traumas, maybe it's a little different because you can still get traumatized when you're older, but everything you develop in this kind of age, it's the root to everything your current life is.
Right.
So let's say we talked about this earlier, money blocks. It's,
Hmm.
let's say you have money blocks. You can follow this red thread all the way back to the root in your childhood years.
Right.
Relationship trauma, you can find
Hmm.
this in your childhood. Maybe you're having a clingy personality style. This is something attached in your childhood. So when you look for the root of, let's say, evil, even though it's not really evil, it's human. This
Hmm.
is what happens. Your parents didn't do this with a malicious kind of thought, or your caregivers. It was more like a something that happened. It's
Right.
as easy as telling your child, I pick you up at school. Let's say your mom is telling you, I'm picking you up at school, and your mom is 5 minutes late. For a 4 or 5 year old, 5 minutes feels like a world. It feels like hours. So in this 5 minutes, you sit there as your young 4 year old and you think, my mom abandoned me. She left. She left me here and she's never coming. There is a trauma. This is a small trauma you have, and it's like this this feeling which triggers when you're in a relationship and your partner is 5 minutes late, or he's or she is telling you they would do something and they can't make it. This triggers because then you feel like I got abandoned. It's an abandonment wound within you,
Right.
and it's popping up wherever you see it in your daily life.
Hmm. So limiting beliefs and trauma are both different, as you mentioned, and limiting beliefs are more into the beliefs, and it could also, and trauma, as you mentioned, is kind of a fear. Am I right?
um it depends. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the most negative limiting beliefs and even trauma you can fit under the term fear, because
Okay.
doubt is fear, self-sabotaging behavior is out of fear.
Hmm.
The inner critic is usually working out of a lack of fear. Anxiety is fear. So usually it's one in another way, it's fear, because
Right.
we just label it in a different way because this gives us a little bit more variety to express our feelings. But in the
Hmm.
end of the day, the root is
Hmm.
most of the time fear.
I see. Wow, that's wonderful. So you mentioned uh, for first 7 years we develop those limiting beliefs. Can we rewire them? And what do you mean by rewiring them?
Yes, you can, and this is the beautiful part. In each and every one of us is an alchemist. You have the
Hmm.
power to alchemize everything you think. And there are a couple of different ways you can approach this. There's, of course, the psychology path again, and then there's the spiritual path. So let's get into the spiritual part for a little bit longer, because honestly, I'm preferring the spiritual approach, because this does really work for me, and I feel like you can pick whatever you feel is best for you, because not every way works for each and every one. We are all unique, and this is the beautiful part. So
Right.
I always say, like, you have a little toolbox, and there are a lot of tools out there, psychology tools and breathwork tools and spiritual tools. And you just pick a couple of tools which work for you. And they don't have to be from the same area, they can be from wherever you want to. And you put them in your own little toolbox and you label it my toolbox, and you're good. These are your specific, unique, special tools you use when you want to fix yourself. So the spiritual approach is to first get aware of this. You need to get aware of what's actually happening. Is there a limiting belief? Because most of the time we get aware through little signs. Sometimes it's a nudge from the universe which tells you, like, here's a red flag. Sometimes you get triggered, and that's a beautiful sign, because now you know something is underneath, because you don't get triggered out of nowhere. Sometimes a question pops in your mind and you think, wait a minute, does this question linger in my mind? It's living here rent free for quite a while, so there has to be something. So
Right.
this is the beautiful part. You can just be cautious and just listen to yourself, listen to your intuition. That's the beautiful part in spirituality. You have an inner guidance within you. So you don't have to figure it out by yourself. Your soul already knows everything. It's
Right.
beautiful. You don't have to ask yourself, just ask your soul. And usually it's an easy question. Just ask, sweetheart, why am I triggered like this? Why
Right.
is it popping up like this? Why is this and that happening? Why am I irritated about this? And usually you get a result. It's I don't think you should push this, because every time you break up a limiting belief, you work on a trauma, you work on a blockage within yourself. I feel like never push. Never, because there's something behind this. And you're dealing with yourself with a little child, because this little child was anywhere between 1 and 7. So, would you push a little child to tell you? You would
No.
never accuse it. And I feel like this is our job, to be really gentle with ourselves. We parroting ourselves. It's true. It's the way we talk to ourselves. We talk as a grown up. We are an authority person. And so we should be really gentle with this little kid. And
Right.
usually this trigger, it hurts this kid. So I really like to do this, that I ask my soul where I feel this pain. So usually you feel it in your body. When you feel like, when you right now think of a limiting belief, I will tell you 100% you know where it is. If you just listen to yourself, and sometimes you just need to breathe and connect with your breath, because breath is such a powerful tool. So when you
Right.
do this, you'll feel, oh, it's somewhere in my stomach, or oh, I can feel it, I don't know, in my back or so. And this is a beautiful part. Even though if you're not spiritual and if you're not into this, you can still do this. You feel, okay, it's there. In spirituality, you can connect it to a chakra. So
Right.
if you know, okay, it's in my upper back, it's usually connected to your heart chakra. And then you know, okay, there is the pain. And then what I like to do is I go to my inner child. I close my eyes and I envision visiting my inner child. And I'm usually envisioning a beautiful space. You can Take wherever you feel really comfortable. Some people see a beach or a beautiful garden or the home you grew up. Whatever is picturing for you, it's just perfect. Never question it, it's just perfect. And then see a door, a portal, a gate, whatever you see there, just go there and tell it to bring the little child that has this pain in the heart chakra. And
Mm,
usually a child comes. So I like to ask this child, how old are you? And it usually
mm,
tells me, and it's always under the age of 7. And
right.
then I follow this, I go with this little child somewhere and sit down, and it shows me what happened, or it tells me. So just be open to it. Sometimes it doesn't show up right away. Sometimes it shows up in pictures. You hear something, you feel something, you have a deep knowing. And sometimes it emerges through a dream or meditation or days after. But
Right.
you rest assured it's always happening. So you don't
Mm,
have to push or be scared. It's always happening. Once you know this, once your child tells you what's happening, do what a good parent, what you wished at this moment from your parent, do this to your child. Sometimes it's a hug, sometimes it just wants love, sometimes it was reassurance, confirmation, whatever it needs. Be that parent your parents couldn't give this child at this moment, because you are now your parent. You always have been there for yourself. And as soon as you grew up and you've been old enough and you didn't need your parents anymore, now it's your job to reparent yourself. And this is how you alchemize this feeling. Because once your child feels seen, heard, and felt, this problem will be alchemized. It's gone.
mm,
It's just, it vanished.
right. Rewired Army. Rebecca is dropping value bombs here. Step by step, we are getting how to break our limiting beliefs and rewire our thoughts and brain and ultimately our life. This is going wonderful. So we also have our entrepreneurial audience. So how would you um, you know uh, help them into this field of breaking their limiting beliefs, which are maybe coming from childhood or might have also developed now, right? After this
Mhm.
age. So, how entrepreneurs can break through this? And you are an entrepreneur yourself, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, entrepreneurship is basically the same thing like a relationship, like your life, everything which happens in your childhood, all the
Mm,
blockages, the limiting belief, the not feeling enough, the feeling unworthy, it all pops up in your in your business. This
right.
is just the matter of fact. So your business is basically a mirror of your life. It's,
Right.
you are the business is you. So everything which is unresolved will trigger you, and it will pop up continuously. And here's the mean thing: the universe is always pushing you the same problem over and over in any kind of areas until you fixed it.
Right.
So maybe you have a low self worth problem, then it will pop up in your relationships. It pops up in getting respect less treated. People are just mean and they push you, they trigger you. It might be in your business where clients don't pay because they feel like you feel like your service is not worth, and now you feel scared to send them another invoice or a reminder. All those, they come up all over and over again until you're courageous enough to face those. So don't push them too far and don't push them over and over, because they won't stop. They are like They have reminders. The universe has reminders, and it will pop up again and again and again. And with each time it pops up, it will be even more painful. So I feel like make it a habit to embrace alchemizing your problems, because honestly, with every alchemized trigger, you
Mm-hmm.
got one step lighter. You got one step towards your truth self. You got one step further of embracing your true, authentic potential. So don't push it, just embrace it. Every challenge which appears, every setback, it's just a gift from the universe to alchemize something. If you look at that way, you shifted your mindset and you become a frequency match, because on the sudden you leveled your frequency up. And if you have a high frequency, you see the world in a different way. There's this saying from as below, so above, as within, so without. So
Right.
you are actually a mirror of your outside world. So
Right.
before this, I explained how to spiritual alchemize your problems. You can do the same way for your business. If you're more into psychology, obviously I'm not a specialist in this, but I would say challenge your triggers. What happens is get aware of it. You know you have a trigger. Start questioning it. Get behind this. You know, okay, I'm triggered because XYZ. Now you know what's the problem. And now you ask yourself, is this true? If you know if it's true or not, sometimes you can ask, did I overheard it? Did I hear it somewhere? Did I see it somewhere? Was it maybe not even directed to me? And
Right.
if you get this, the goal is to convince your logical mind that there's a slightly chance that it might be not true. This is all you need. You just need this little crack, because this crack will break everything apart. Once you know this, you can say, well, maybe I want to believe that this is true. And then you replace it with something you want to believe. For example, if you feel I'm not worthy, you find the gap of feeling, wait a minute, maybe this what I overheard my parents say, maybe it wasn't directed to me. There is the
Right.
slightly possibility that this isn't true. So now you can say, I am worthy because I came to this earth already worthy and deserving of everything. So now you replace this belief. And what you need to do is you need to reaffirm this. So over the next couple of days, always remind yourself of this. Watch what you think, because your thoughts ultimately determine your world.
Hmm.
And this is really important, because when you think illy, then your life turns into what your mind pictures. So this is a beautiful way how you can do it if you're not into spirituality, if you're not want to dive deep into this, and you're more working from your logical mind, then try this and dive deeper. And like I said, I'm not a specialist in this, but YouTube is a awesome way, or ChatGPT or whatever. You find ways to actually get behind this, or find a coach, because honestly I believe community as a powerful thing. And this is for everything, for spirituality or for um, psychology. Your surrounding determines your healing. Your healing journey is only as good as your surrounding is. So if you are trying to heal yourself from limiting beliefs, if you try to break free from the norm your family or your friends think is the right
Hmm.
one, you need a surrounding who's helping you, because otherwise it's so much harder. Can you do it by yourself? Definitely you can. But I'm speaking out of experiences. It's so much harder. You fall down so much more than you would when you actually had a community who supports you, who uplifts you, who celebrates you and cheers you on for everything you've done, who's guiding you, helping you, and actually mentoring you, because this is a gift of community.
Wow, this is such a master class right now. We are getting stepwise knowledge and practical steps to how to rewire your brain or get out of those limiting beliefs. And we have talked into everything into self sabotage, everything into traumas and around. So, Rebecca, I want you to tell our audience where they can find you. We have a quick fire round, so don't go anywhere.
Mhm.
So, but before that, I want you to tell you where people can find you and how you can help everyone. And then we'll go into fire round questions.
Yes, I'd love that. So you can find me on Instagram. It's probably the best. I'm there under Rebecca Pilger, REBECCA PILGR. And I do have a freebie on my website. It's in my bio. So if you like this, and I do have a newsletter where I usually just spill out my heart. It's usually something which is a revelation I just broke through, or something which is just lingering in my mind, something which is on my heart. It's called Soul Message. You can just sign up there for free. And I also have a community, which is the Sacred Soul Circle, which will just give you the surroundings you need, which helps you find the soul tribe, your soul family, and your the people who are actually uplifting you, who are there for you when nobody else is there, who sees the way you are, your authentic true self. And I like to say every soul has a light, and we are so used to dimming our light, and this space is where you can shine bright without being scared that you might steal the show from somebody, or you're too much, you're too sensitive, you're too whatever. You're just amazing the way you are. And I feel we all need this. We need surroundings, communities who help us when nobody else in our family wants to help us, when our friends don't understand us. Because I just talked to someone and she said, there is a community for her entrepreneurial friends. When she has a new pitch, she asks them. If she has an issue with her child, she asks the mom friends. If she wants family advice, she goes maybe to her family. So I feel like we all need some kind of tribe, some kind of families and friends we can ask. So find whatever works for you. And when you found your tribe, it's so much easier to heal.
Wonderful. All the links are in the description. Find Rebecca, find her newsletters and her community. Everything she's giving out for helping everyone, right? So find her, everything's in the description, and let's get into the fire quick round questions or whatever you call it. It will be simple question and you can reply me in a word or a statement. Everything is fine. Okay.
Okay.
One book that changed your life.
Oh, The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. Yeah, I love that. Meditation or journaling, if you had to only pick one.
Meditation.
Okay, wonderful. Morning ritual everyone should must have.
Gratitude. A
Gratitude.
gratitude practice.
I love that. I do that too. And in fact, I do it in, written part, like, because it also serves into manifesting my future,
Mhm.
right?
I love
Right.
it.
Mm, your favorite healing tool or practice?
Mm, my favorite. I'd say what you can do at home is connecting to your breath and listening to what your soul is telling you. That's so easy. Everybody can do this. And let the light from the universe go through you and heal you and take everything you don't need and just take it away.
Huge. If you could speak to a 10-year-old self, what would you say?
Don't worry, everything will turn out amazingly and you'll be so much happier.
I feel like you are telling me directly. I love it. I love it. Uh, uh, One more. Is alignment more important or strategy?
Alignment. I feel like when you're aligned, you don't need strategy because you're aligned, your soul is telling you. Strategy is something your logical mind tells you, while alignment comes from your soul. It's something it already knows, all the outcomes.
I see. Wonderful. Uh, one more. If the world could hear you and you only have one message to give it, what would it be?
Love and unity is the only thing we need. It's we all have love. It's free. All can give love, receive love, and community unity is ultimate love. It's consciousness.
Wow. Wow. It has been wonderful. Wow. That's really great. We got like actually a masterclass, and to be honest, very specifics into spirituality. So obviously, people find Rebecca on her Instagram. All the links are in the description. And Rebecca, one last message. Would you wanna share it to anyone, and then we can end our podcast today?
I feel like never forget you're the alchemist. You have everything you need within you. You can heal yourself. You can manifest whatever you want. Your entire life is just a huge manifestation. You have a power, you're way more powerful than you can imagine. So don't be afraid of your own success, your own light, your own spirit, your own soul.
Right. I mean, more out of than spirituality, you have so many topics to talk on, like manifestation and everything into self improvement and so many things. So I think just one podcast is not enough for us. We need more podcasts. Because this is going wonderful. Okay, perfect. Rewired Army, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you got so much value from this podcast. And obviously, if you want to be on the podcast and if you can talk around these topics on rewiring your thoughts and your brain and your life, obviously reach out to me. Links are in the description. And yeah, that's about it. We'll see you again. Peace out. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.